which is serving as the health security advisor to the commission.
Good evening,
for all four
ladies and
debates.
gentlemen. Welcome to Play
As
the
a
Hits.
precaution, both campaigns have agreed
Tonight
that candidates
is an episode of something
will not
else.
shake
We're
hands at the
basically
beginning of
just
tonight's debate.
going to stream some Sega
The
Genesis
audience
as
here
a
in the
front
hall
to
has
listen to the
promised
presidential
remain
debate
silent. No
and
cheers,
just
no
react to that in
boos
real
or
time.
other interruptions, so we,
We're using
and
the
more
ABC
importantly,
coverage,
you
obviously,
can
because of
focus on what
copyright
the
shit. I'm not
candidates
going to be
have to
bothering
say.
to put it
No
on the
noise
screen,
except
but
right now,
you should be
as
able to
we
hear it in the
welcome
background.
Republican nominee, President
I don't know
Trump,
if we'll actually get
and
away
the
with that
Democratic
either,
nominee,
but whatever.
Vice President Biden.
Waiting for Max to get on. Pick a random game here in just a little bit. There's the orange fucking chucklehead, so he's on now. And there's Biden, okay. Yep. What a fucking riot our country has become.
Gentlemen, a lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get going. Our first subject is the Supreme Court. President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court.
Yes,
you
he
say
did.
the Constitution is clear
Fucking
about
joke.
your obligation and the Senate's to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both
Yeah,
of
it
you
was a
tonight,
fucking abuse of
why
power
are you
when
right
fucking Mitch
in the
McConnell
argument you
stopped
make
Obama's pick
and
in
your opponent
2016?
wrong? And
Fuck
where
that
do
shit.
you
What makes it
think
so different now?
a Justice Barrett would take the court? President Trump, in this first segment, you go first, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chris. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic, good in every way, In fact, some of her biggest endorsers are very liberal people from Notre Dame and other places. So I think she's going to be fantastic. We have plenty of time. Even if we did it after the election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that she will be outstanding. She's going to be as good as anybody that has served on that court. We really feel that. We have a professor at Notre Dame, highly respected by all, said she's the single greatest student he's ever had. He's been a professor for a long time at a great school. And we won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose
Fuck
her.
you, dude.
And very few people knowingly would say otherwise. And by the way, the Democrats...
Obama fucking won his
they wouldn't even
election.
think about
Fucking
not doing
stopped
it.
him.
The only difference is they're trying to do it faster. There's no way they would give it up. They had Merrick Garland, but the problem is they didn't have the election.
Start some Sega Genesis here
they
before
were
I
stopped.
burst the blood
And
vessel.
probably that would happen in
Streets
reverse
of
also.
Rage.
Definitely
That
would
seems
happen in
appropriate.
reverse. So we won the election, and we have the right to do it, Chris.
President Trump, thank you. Same question to you, Vice President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing this and looking forward to this, Mr. President.
Thank you, Joe.
That's about as civil as it's going to get, I'm guessing.
To have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is. And that say occurs when they vote for a United States senators and when they vote for the President of the United States. They're not going to get that chance now because we're in the middle of an election already. The election has already started. Tens of thousands of people have already voted. And so the thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is, because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect as vice president. Now, what's at stake here is the president's made it clear he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. He's been running on that, he ran on that, and he has been governing on that. He's in the Supreme Court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which will strip 20 million people from having insurance, health insurance now, if it goes into court, and the justice, and I'm not opposed to the justice. She seems like a very fine person, but she's written before she went on the bench, which is her right, that she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional. The other thing is on the court, and if it's struck down, what happens? Women's rights are fundamentally changed. Once again, a woman could be pay more money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy. They were able to charge a woman more for the same exact procedure a man gets. And that ended when we, in fact, passed the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million people who have pre-existing conditions, and they'll be taken away as well. Those pre-existing conditions, the insurance companies are going to love this. And so it's just not appropriate to do this before this election. If he wins the election and the Senate is Democrat or Republican, then he goes forward. If not, we should wait until February.
All right. There aren't 100 million people with pre-existing conditions. As far as the say is concerned, the people who already had this say, okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly, at some point, 10 years ago or so, she said a president and the Senate is elected for a period of time, but a president's elected for 4 years. We're not elected for 3 years. I'm not elected for 3 years. So we have the Senate, we have a president.
He's elected to the next
election. That period of time, we have an opening. I'm not elected for 3 years. I'm elected for 4 years.
Oh my God! Like the hypocrisy here is just fucking mind blowing.
I don't know where you got that.
Like they didn't stop Obama's Supreme Court justice pick when Scalia died. Jesus! They just think we fucking forgot about that horse shit?
That's simply not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialist. You're going to socialist.
Oh, and there we go. Socialism. We're already at fucking socialism. 5 minutes in.
Go ahead, Vice President.
Number one, he knows that what I proposed.
Holy Christ!
What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. We do not wipe any. And one of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won, were saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still. They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
Yeah, they're not fucking wiping out private insurance.
Your party doesn't say it. Your party wants to go socialist.
Oh my God. Fuck you, dude.
Then
Then the post office is socialism. Fucking public works is socialism. Parks and recreation is socialism. Fuck you, dude.
Is what I, in fact, approved of. What I approved of. Now, here's the deal. The deal is that it's going to wipe out pre-existing conditions. And by the way, the 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act?
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me
I'm
about
happy
this.
to talk
What the
about
fuck are you talking about,
Here,
asshole?
It wouldn't be 200. It would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban.
All right, gentlemen,
which was heavily infected. You would have been much later.
Here we go. Here we go.
Mr. President.
You're talking about 2 million people.
Mr. President, as a moderator.
So, yeah, fucking moderator from Fox News is going to get stomped on by fucking President Trump. There's a big surprise.
The president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is all.
You don't know it's on the ballot. Why is it on the ballot?
What?
Because
why is it on the ballot? It's not on the ballot.
It's on the ballot in the court.
I don't think so.
In the court. Well,
there's nothing happening there.
Holy shit, you can't just fucking make shit up, Trump.
On Roe v. Wade.
I don't know her view.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen. We got a lot of time. So, on health care, and then we'll come back to Roe v. Wade.
All right.
Mr. President, the Supreme Court.
So, Max may or may not be joining us. Not 100%
after
sure.
the election, in which the Trump administration, along with 18 state attorneys general, are seeking to overturn Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You have spent the last...
Because they want to give good health care.
If I may ask my question, sir.
Good health care.
Over the last 4 years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Because they want to get good health care. They can't fucking afford health care, you fucking moron.
A comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare.
Of course I have.
No, you haven't.
I got rid of the individual mandate. I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a big chunk of Obamacare. That is absolutely a big thing. That was
you can't fucking do what you're doing, dude.
That was the worst part of Obama.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe.
I'll ask Joe. I'm going to be the moderator. I'm going to self-moderate this debate.
And we will protect people.
President, I'm the moderator of this debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer your question. In the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare, and just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Well,
there is
first of all,
none.
I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you something.
Oh my God,
There's
dude.
nothing symbolic. I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against big pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it. Nobody's done it. So we're cutting health care. All of the things that we've done, insulin. I give you an example, insulin. It was destroying families,
is this a debate, or are we just gonna fucking listen to this
so cheap.
chucklehead just run his goddamn mouth for an hour?
So cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs that what we're doing, prescription drug prices. We're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because they pay just a tiny fraction.
As I say, this is open discussion.
No,
Let me ask you about,
this is big stuff.
Sir, you'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points out that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare, and the argument that he makes and other Republicans make is that that is going to end private insurance.
It is
and
not.
Well, if I can ask you the question, it will end.
The party says, by the way.
It will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health care.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid.
Why is that so fucking hard to understand?
In most states, except governors who want to deny people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare would, Medicaid would automatically be enrolled in the public option. The vast majority of the American people would still not be in that option, number one.
Joe, you agreed with Bernie Sanders.
Holy shit, dude, let him goddamn answer.
Gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
are you saying
I'm not going to listen to him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him.
Oh my God, fuck you, dude.
Pocahontas would have left 2 days early. You would have lost every prize.
Holy shit.
Tuesday. You got very lucky.
Here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to make sure, because here's the deal. Here's the deal. The fact is that everything.
Don't fall for it, Joe. He's just trying to get you in the mud.
I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you,
he's a pathological liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make sure.
Mr. President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has.
He does.
You picked
be surprised.
The wrong guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with Bernie Sanders to the manifesto.
Holy shit, this is a fucking circus.
Please let him speak, Mr.
Number two.
He just lost the left.
Number two.
He just lost the left.
You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
Folks,
absolutely agreed.
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
They call it socialized medicine.
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, he is not for any help for people needing health care. Because he, in fact, already has cost 10 million people their health care that they had from their employers because of his recession. Number one. Number two, there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare now that he wants to take it away. He won't ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do. Take it away.
No, I want to give
Number
better health care at a much
How? You don't have a goddamn plan, you fucking orange maniac.
He has never offered a plan.
To an extent.
He has never.
I've already fixed it to an extent.
No, but probably does.
Gentlemen, you realize if you're both speaking at the same time,
and it's too expensive.
Let the president. Go ahead, sir.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate. We guarantee pre-existing conditions, but took away the individual mandate. Listen, this is the way it is. And that destroyed.
Oh my God, you can't just fucking say something.
Then I had a choice to make. Do I let my people run it really well or badly? If I run it badly, they'll probably blame me, but more importantly, I want to have people. Okay? I said, you got to run it so well. And I just had a meeting with them. They said,
like, wasn't this question aimed at fucking Biden? Like, did I miss something?
It's a disaster.
Like, when did this become his question?
Premiums are too high, and it doesn't work. So we do want to get rid of it. Chris, we want to get rid of it.
I understand it, sir, but I have to give you roughly equal time. Please let the vice president talk.
Good.
He has no plan for health care.
Of course we do.
Please.
Oh my God, keep your goddamn orange mouth
He
shut.
has executive orders that have no power. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And the fact is, this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right, I have one final question for you,
Sure.
Mr. Vice President. If Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the court, adding to the 9 justices
Yeah, that
there.
court is
You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact, it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in the Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel.
Are you going to back the court?
Make sure you, in fact, let people know your senator. I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
the question is,
oh my God, dude.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
Who's on your list?
Right. Gentlemen, I think
this
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the court.
We have
We
have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
The people understand, Joe.
Jesus
47
Christ.
years, you've done nothing. They understand.
The people understand,
The
yeah.
second subject is COVID-19, which is an awfully serious subject.
So let's fucking
let's try to be
trivialize it
serious
and make
about
fucking
We
fools
have
out of
had
ourselves.
More than 7 million cases of coronavirus in the United States, and more than 200,000 people have died. Even after we produce a vaccine, experts say that it could be months or even years before we come back to anything approaching normal. My question for both of you is, based on what you have said and done so far, and what you have said you would do starting in 2021, why should the American people trust
Streets
you
of Rage is
more
becoming
than
Desk of
your
Rage on Play the
opponent
Hits.
to deal with this public health crisis going forward? In this case, the question goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted.
200,000 dead. As you said, over 7 million infected in the United States. We, in fact, have 5%, 4% of the world's population, 20% of the deaths. 40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is.
It is what it is,
It is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people. You don't panic. He panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we had on the ground in China should be able to go to Wuhan and determine for themselves how dangerous this was. He did not even ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job Xi was doing. He said we owe him a debt of gratitude for being so transparent with us. And what did he do then? He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan.
Wrong.
I laid out back in
Okay,
March.
that whole fucking
exactly
wrong
what we should
thing,
be
like
doing.
that's just gonna
And I
fucking
laid out
give me an
again in
aneurysm before the
July
night's
what
over.
we should be doing. We should be providing all
And
the
here's Max.
protective gear possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed in order to be able to go out.
Holy
and
shit,
get
dude! Are you watching
people
the
help
circus?
they need to keep their businesses
No,
open.
nah, I
Open schools. It
just
costs a
woke
lot of
up,
money.
basically.
You should
Nice.
out even
It's
going on?
exactly
Get out of the
like
sand
what you
trap
thought
and
it would
get
be,
in
if
the
not
golf
worse.
course and go in the
Cool.
Oval Office and
Yeah,
get the
yeah. So
Democrats and Republicans
here's
and
the
fund
here's the
what
Sega
needs to be
Genesis.
done now
I'm
to
streaming
save
the.
lives.
I figured if we
would've
ran
listened
video,
if
we'd
I-
probably get a
come on,
copyright
sir.
strike.
If
So
we
I'm
would've
just doing
listened
the
to you,
audio.
The country would have been
Gotcha.
left wide open.
So far, so
Millions of
good.
people would have died.
Other than the fact
Streets
that,
of
you know,
Rage is
One
very
person
apt.
is too much. It's
Yeah, right,
China's
Streets
fault.
of
It should
Rage.
have never
Other than the
happened.
fact that Donald
They
Trump is a
stopped it from
fucking,
going in, but it was
like,
China's
maniac.
fault.
I
By the way,
don't
when you
even.
talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how
But
many
yeah,
people
if you wanna stream it, I'm keeping the volume down on the Sega, so pretty much just listening and reacting to this in real time.
Gotcha.
Trying not to have a heart attack on our stream.
Gotcha. Okay. How long does the debate go until?
I think it's 2 hours, but I'm probably not going to have the patience to sit it out for the whole thing. So I've just been streaming so far about 20 minutes. Like I said, just listening and well, I mean, like, there's really not much to listen to yet. They haven't really tackled anything of substance because every time Biden opens his mouth, Trump just goes on like a fucking tirade of like just verbal diarrhea. Like, this is so far in the debate, this is like the longest they've gone without talking over each other.
We got the masks, we made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators.
And of course, Trump's just making shit up. He has like no health care plan. So basically, all he can do is just try to sidetrack Biden with a bunch of gibberish.
Done a great job.
Yeah.
The only thing I haven't done a
I'm
good job,
going
and that's
to-
because of the fake news.
He's throwing out like Pocahontas and Bernie Sanders, and you're socializing medicine. We're taking it back for the people.
That's the way it
And
is,
it's just,
unfortunately.
oh,
But let me just
it
tell you
is
something. I don't
every
care.
bit as
I've
bad
gotten
as
used to it. But
I
I'll tell
remember
you,
from
you could never
2016.
have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have
Now,
never
see if I
done
can find
that
it on YouTube.
I know
There's
how
that
to do the
eugenics
job.
bullshit
I
again.
know
Do you
how to
believe
do
that
the
shit?
job.
You don't have the presidency in your blood. You can't do it.
H1N1.
Like, that's the same
Wow.
fucking. You remember that from like that
14,000
Wisconsin
people died,
thing?
200,000 there was
Where he was
no
like, you people
economic
come,
recession.
you have some very great stock here, very great blood in Wisconsin.
And there was no one.
And it's just
there's
like,
no- we
what the
didn't shut
fuck
down
is
the
he
economy.
talking about?
This is his economy that's being shut down.
All right, I'm turning
The
it on
reason it's
now.
shut down is
All right,
because,
I think
look,
they're
if
sort
you
of
folks at
on
home, how many get
COVID,
up this
sort of on
morning
the economy. I'm
and
not
had an
sure. Like
empty chair at the kitchen
they're just
table
fucking jumping
because
around so
someone
much
died of
because
COVID?
Trump can't keep a
How
like
many
single
of
train of
you were in a
thought.
situation where you lost
And
your
Biden like
mom
has
or
no choice
dad,
but to
you couldn't
respond to
even
what he's
speak, and you
saying.
had a nurse holding
Yeah.
the phone up so you could in fact say goodbye.
You would have lost far
How
more
many
people.
There we go.
Yeah, see, you would have lost far more people if you were president. You know, like how, like, what are you basing this on?
Director says we could lose as many as another 200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he
Holy
already
hell,
said,
dude.
If we just wear a mask, we can save half those numbers. Just a mask. And by the way, in terms of the
I hit my
notion of a
movement
vaccine,
streak on
we're for
my
a vaccine,
my
but
Apple
I don't
Watch
trust
because
him
my
at
heart
all,
is
nor do you.
like
I know you don't.
elevated
Just
right
as a
now.
scientist.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
Johnson, Johnson, Pfizer.
And by the way,
Well, yeah,
and
he won't let him.
Move on to
Won't let him
questions about the
finish.
future, 'cause you
No.
both have touched on one
And
of
like the
Twitter
moderator, he's
questions
some
I'm gonna
chucklehead
ask.
from Fox News, and
focusing on the
so
future,
far, I
because
mean, to his
President Trump,
credit, he is
you have
trying to give Biden room to
repeatedly
speak,
either
but like he can't
contradicted
rein
or
him in
been
at all.
odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week
Like
before
he has
last,
not
the
successfully
head
done
of
that
the
yet.
Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield, said it would be summer before the vaccine would become generally available to the public. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your two words.
Oh.
Dr. Slawi, the head of your Operation Warp Speed,
this guy,
has said
okay.
exactly the same thing. Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to the companies, and we can have it a lot sooner. It's a very political thing.
Maybe
because
by
people like this
October.
would rather make
Yeah.
it political than save lives.
God.
It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer.
Yeah,
I've
people are
spoken to
withholding the
all
fucking
people that you have to
vaccine
speak
to
We have
get
great
you out of the
Moderna,
presidency, dude.
Johnson & Johnson.
Don't get me wrong, I would almost
They
be
can go
glad if they
faster than
did,
that by
but
a lot.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Become very political because the left, or I don't know if I call
So
them
you're
left, I don't know
suggesting
what I
that the
call them.
head of your Operation Warp Speed, Dr. Slawi,
I disagree with him. Yeah, no, I disagree with both of them.
Holy
And he
shit.
didn't say
I
that.
know, man.
He said it
He's
could be
here.
that, but it could also
He's
be
doing the
much
same
sooner.
shit that
I
he
have
always
in my
does.
office too.
Disagreeing
He
with
talked
fucking
about
medical
summer surgeons
professionals.
generally available.
And the
It's
thing
a
is, I feel
possibility
it,
that
it
we'll
makes me
have
sad because I feel like this
the
is
answer
working for him.
before
You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely it is.
first.
Like, yeah,
At
he's
least
sticking it to those liberal doctors. Like,
Well, we're
what
gonna
the
deliver
fuck
it
are
right
you
away. We have
even?
the military all set
Yeah,
up logistically.
his
They're
base
all
they
set
they
up.
get off on
We
this
have our
because
military
they
that delivers
they're big
soldiers, and they
conspiracy
can do
theorists.
200
You know,
a
they
day.
feel
They're
like
going to be
it
delivering
basically
man
makes
gets all set
the dumbest
by
people you went
Easter,
to
this
high
will be
school
gone
with.
away.
Yep.
It
By the
makes them
warm
feel like
weather,
they
it'll
know
be gone,
something more than you.
miraculously.
Yeah, right.
you
Like there's
know?
some like
As-
secret
By the way,
truth
maybe
that
you could
only
inject
those
some
who like
bleach in your arm. That
really
would take care of
like
it. This
live
is
and
a
breathe
woken
Donald
up.
Trump are like
I
privy
was,
to, you know?
I was
Yeah.
sarcastic.
And so here's the deal. This man is talking about a vaccine. Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine.
And those
pray
are like
God we
conservative
will.
estimates.
Pray God
Or I
we
mean, those are
will.
like
President, I want to pick up though.
You'll have
on
the
that.
vaccine
I
sooner
want to
than
pick
that.
up on this question though. You say the
Sarcasm.
public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it,
oh my God, that's the other thing that's driving me nuts. Like these anti-vaxxers that are just like out of their gourd about the vaccine.
And disagrees with
his
own scientists.
But you're saying you can't, or Senator Harris is saying you can't trust the scientists.
Well, no, you can trust the scientists. She didn't say that. You can't trust.
She said.
Wait, what are they quoting from Harris? What did she say?
Yes. Well, that's what he's going to try to do. But there's millions of scientists.
Did you hear about this? Like, because I don't know what they're talking about.
No.
Great hospital.
If they were talking about like being able to give it out or something, that the CDC would be muzzled or something.
To the scientists they will have the vaccine very soon.
They will have the vaccine very soon. You can all write Christmas cards to Donald Trump saying, "Thank you so much, Mr. President, for your unprecedented response to the fucking coronavirus vaccine." like that's the same horse shit that he pulled on Easter. Remember that? The coronavirus will probably have it done by Easter, and then you can all gather in your churches and you can say a big prayer of thank you for me. Like
he panicked, or he just looked at the stock market.
What reality does he fucking live in, man?
And a lot more are going to die.
This is a nightmare.
I can't even imagine, like...
Did you use the word smart?
It's just, I don't know. People live in these bubbles. They don't even know he's saying this shit, you know?
Well, but like,
I mean, again, a lot of it his base loves, but I know people who are a little more reasonable who voted for him, and it's just like...
How do you watch this and like think that this man has anything close to reason in him?
I think a lot of people aren't. They've already made their decision.
Well, yeah, I mean, so have I, clearly, but
yeah,
at the same time, like, I'm kind of curious just to see, like, how fucked we are. And if, like, his rhetoric here is anything to, like, go off of, we're very, very fucked if he wins, man. We're very, very fucked.
Honestly, dude, if Biden barely wins, I'm still gonna be like, Jesus Christ, like...
Yeah, we're still in a rough... We're still in for a rough couple of years.
Yeah, but even that, it's just like... doesn't give me much hope. Even if Trump barely loses, it's like, okay, like this could happen again, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the problem is, like, if he's already said if he loses, he's not going to commit to a peaceful transfer of power, which I think is probably the most disturbing thing I've read in recent weeks.
Yeah. And Pelosi's already, gearing up the House of Representatives that, hey, we might have to decide this.
And by the way, Nancy Pelosi and Schumer,
Don't let him talk about Nancy Pelosi. Oh my God. Nancy Pelosi and Pocahontas, they're against me. The enemies of the people.
What about this question of reopening?
I love how you go into the haunted house and it's suddenly Contra.
Yeah, I know, right? We started out on like Pirates of the Caribbean and now it's Contra.
Have you played Streets of
Do
Rage 4?
you hear this shit? Do you hear what he's saying? Let me just shut you down for a second. He's the fucking moderator, dude. And he's from Fox News. Like, he's your bread and butter. Like, what are you doing?
He's gonna alienate everyone, soon enough.
No, he's not. What he's gonna do is he's gonna alienate rednecks from Fox News. Like, they're so up Trump's ass that, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the GOP, Fox News, those were all just means to an end, and Trump is that end. It's horrifying to think about. So basically, if I just stand and punch this thing, it'll eventually die.
Yeah, looks like that's the...
No, that's the ticket. That's what I was missing.
Those states are not doing well that are shut down right
now. God, dude.
President Trump, you have begun to increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer.
Oh, here we go.
Recently, you have cited
there's a
issue
lady I know, and that's all the more I'll say. But she's like, she's convinced that mask wearing is part of a liberal conspiracy to undermine democracy and muzzle the church, and it's just it's a nightmare.
How does that muzzle anyone?
I don't know. Like she can't clearly articulate it. What she's doing is just spouting out this QAnon bullshit.
That's another thing.
And she keeps sending me these videos. Like, I have time or patience to watch it. Like, I watched the first one and I was like so disturbed I needed a stiff drink.
Look, The way to open
I
business
think I mentioned that to you, right? The QAnon thing.
Yeah, and some people are like making their way to Congress, writing on that QAnon wave of horseshit.
Yep.
Which
Bet they
again,
are.
it's very frightening, you know.
If everybody wore masks and social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
But we're not going to.
The opposite. They've also said
They've also said the opposite. No, they haven't, dude. The medical community is like unanimous on this shit. Wear the goddamn masks.
We got a little bit more than a minute left in this
masks
segment.
are not good. Then he changed his mind. He said masks
Oh
are good.
my God.
I'm okay with masks.
I
I'm
want to
not
ask you
fighting
both about
masks.
one last subject because
I'm like falling apart in the
your
game because I
different
can't believe what I'm
approaches
doing.
even affected the way that you have campaigned.
That's okay. This is the
President
first of like
Trump,
several
you're holding
Sega Genesis
large
games.
rallies with crowds packed together, thousands of people.
Outside.
Outside, yes, sir. Agreed.
Outside.
Vice
Biggest
President
crowds
Biden,
ever
you
for
are
me.
holding much smaller events with
Because nobody will show up.
people with.
What's true?
Oh
Nobody
my
shows up to
God,
his rally.
dude.
In any case, why you holding the big rallies? Why you not? You goes first, sir.
Because people want to hear what I have to say. I mean,
But are you
I've
not
done a
worried
great
about it
job
spreading
as a
disease?
president, and I'll have 35,000 people show up.
Never mind the
at
goddamn
airports.
health crisis,
We
dude.
use
They want to hear what
airports.
I
You're not
have
worried
to
about
say.
We have a
disease
lot of
issues,
people.
sir.
Well, so far we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's
No,
a big difference,
wow.
according to the
Are you
experts.
joking?
We do them outside. We have tremendous crowds, as you see. I mean, every and
Again with the
literally in
tremendous
24 hours
crowds, like,
notice.
hey, check out how
And Joe
big
does
my
the circles and
my
has
my
three people
political cock is.
someplace.
Yeah.
It's also he's so
Biggest
petty. And he
I
can't
know.
help himself. It's
And
like,
a
how do
reporter
people
came
not
up
see
to him
this?
To ask him a question. He
I
said,
don't
Even if it
know.
was just about the
Stand back.
decorum,
Put on
like
your
he's
mask.
not
Put on your
presidential
mask.
whatsoever. But
No.
people see this shit as strong,
I'm way,
you know, when
I'm
it's
way
just
far away from
childish.
those other people. That's what he said.
Oh.
I can't. I'm going to be okay. He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there breathing on one another.
We've had no negative
cheek to
effect.
jowl. No negative
You
effect.
can't
We've had
possibly
negative
know
effect,
that.
and
Oh
we've had
my
35,
God.
40,000
All right,
people
you wanna-
at these rallies.
Just quickly
Oh.
finish up because I want to move on to our next.
Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the social distancing and people wearing masks.
I mean,
Basically
Biden's not
encouraging
wrong.
to.
All right.
He's a fool on this.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen, can we move
Oh
on to
my
the
God,
economy?
dude,
Gentlemen,
like,
can we move
is
on
this
to the
real?
economy?
Is this reality?
The economy
Like, for
is, I
real?
think it's fair to say,
If you could get the
recovering
crowds, you would have
faster
had
than
big
expected
events
from
too,
the
but you
shutdown.
can't. Your
Much
dick isn't
in
as
the
big as
second quarter.
mine.
The unemployment rate fell
Oh
to
my God.
8.4% last month. The Federal Reserve says
Oh.
the hint to grow,
More
which is
alcohol.
Hey,
there,
you drinking?
is not
Yeah, oh, I'm
nearly
drinking.
as big as they had
I have only
expected.
begun to drink.
President Trump, you say
Oh,
we're
my
in a
God.
V-shaped recovery.
Tomorrow's going to be a hard work day,
Vice
my
President
friend.
Biden, you say it's more of a K-shape. What difference does that mean to the American people in terms of the economy? President Trump, in this segment, you go first.
So,
we built
Side
the
note,
greatest
have you read
economy
the
in
articles
history.
about,
We closed it down
Trump's
because of
taxes?
The China plague. When the plague came in,
Oh,
we closed
no,
it
I
down,
I
which
haven't
was very
actually.
hard
I've been hearing bits and
psychologically to
pieces.
do.
What was
He
it,
didn't think we should
750 in
close it down, and he was
2016?
wrong.
yeah, so
And again,
basically,
and nothing.
he's almost
The
$1
other
billion
issues.
in debt.
Still,
And in the next 4 years, a lot of his
people is
loans
too
are
much.
set to
One
come
person
due.
is too much.
So
Should've never happened from
basically,
China.
he's
But what happened
running
is we
to keep
closed it down,
himself
and now we're
from
reopening, and we're
like
doing
public
record
humiliation
Bankruptcy.
and going totally bankrupt.
10.4 million people in a
Yeah,
4-month
I
period.
think
Which
so.
makes him
because-
pretty
Back into the
desperate.
workforce.
Yeah,
It's a
the
record
presidency
the
has
likes of which
been
nobody's ever
actually
seen
because he's not
before. And he
collecting
wants
like
to
a
close down
presidential
he will shut it down
that
again. He
salary,
will destroy this country.
but
You
I
know, a
think
lot
it
of people
opens doors for
between
him to
drugs
make
and
deals like
alcohol,
internationally.
depression,
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
start
Well,
for his
that's what it
hotels and
basically
everything.
is. He's making all kinds of business deals that really like are more about private interest than anything having to do with the public. So,
Oh, yeah.
them came out last week. You
so
saw that.
there's that.
Oh, we're going to open on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think
Comic
they're hurting
Zone.
us
Oh, this game's
by
difficult.
keeping
It is like I've
People-
never beaten like the
people
first
know what to
level.
do. They can social distance. They can
Like I don't
wash
know if
their
there's a way
hands,
to
they can wear
block
masks,
that I've just
they
never
can do whatever they
discovered,
want.
but
they got to
I don't think so.
When you look at North Carolina,
And
when
enemies
you
are
look
like
at
such
these
damage
governors
sponges.
are under siege. Pennsylvania,
There we go.
Michigan, and a couple of others. You got to open these states up. It's not fair. You're talking about almost it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce. Look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And he'll close down the whole country. This guy will close down the whole country. and
oh my
destroy
god,
our
dude!
country.
If we need a
Our
lockdown,
country
it's
is coming
because
back
you
incredibly
failed to
well,
react in a way
setting
that
records
actually
as it
kept
does
people
it.
from getting
We
the
don't
goddamn
need somebody
virus.
to come in and say, let's shut it
Like
down.
for real though.
All right, your 2 minutes, sir. We're now moved to you.
All right, so
As
here
I-
comes
as I
Trump's
said,
second
posing
2
the
minutes.
question, the president says it's a V-shaped recovery. You say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
The difference is millionaires and billionaires like him in the middle of the COVID crisis.
Little echo of Bernie there.
Have done very well. Billionaires have made another $300 billion because of his profligate tax proposal, and he only focused on the market. But you folks at home, you folks living in Scranton and Claymont and all the small towns and working class towns in America, how well are you doing? This guy paid a total of $750 in taxes.
Sir, wait, no, sir, it's just.
I
understand. You've agreed to the
don't call him a billionaire. He's
right. Yeah, I know, right? He's barely a millionaire at this point.
Yeah, I feel like you could hit him on that. He would kind of go nuts.
But then it just starts the ego game again, and like,
that's
I don't know if Biden certainly isn't too good for that. Like, he can get down in the dirt, but I think it's a nice contrast if he doesn't.
Are those people who have been on the front lines.
So, like, what's really disappointing about this so far is that Biden has tried to articulate some legitimate points, but each and every time Trump gets him off course.
Yeah.
Like, which is not good, because Trump isn't winning the debate, but he doesn't have to win it. But it's basically just Biden doesn't have
to lose. Yeah.
Right.
Why does he want to open
And I think he is susceptible to getting swung off his game.
Yeah, like the debate is such that Trump doesn't actually have to make any rational point because no one is expecting that of him. But if he can keep Biden from making a point, then
your safety. Schools. Why aren't schools open? Because it costs a lot of money to open them safely.
I guess I probably should hit that switch.
Yeah.
His administration going to give the teachers and school students.
I guess you were just jump on top of the box to get the switch.
Yeah, instead I blew it up.
Emergency.
Well, that's typically what you do in these games. If Street Fighter taught you anything,
nothing. They're closing.
You destroy the car.
Is now gone. He ought to get on
this was a really cool game.
and take care of
it is.
The American people, so we
it feels very powerful.
Your time is up, sir. Well, you're going to get to.
I have to respond to that.
Well,
no, you don't, dude. You aren't called on.
He made a statement.
So did you.
People want their schools. No, people want their schools.
Oh my God, dude! Why is he letting him do this?
They don't want their state shut down.
I wonder if I'm gonna. I have Biden speaking right now.
Oh yeah, you might be a second or you might be a minute or so behind me.
What they've done in New York. People want.
So after Biden finishes, Trump goes, "No, I got to respond to that," and he's like, "No, it's."
Okay, yeah, I just got there.
I'm the one who brought back football. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm very happy to do it.
All right,
here, I'll send you my link just if you want to just switch over to it.
We're going to get to your economic plans going forward in a moment. But first, Mr. President, as you well know, there's a new report that in 2016,
all it is the ABC coverage, but it's hosted by some other website.
Your first year as president, that you paid
$750
a year in federal income tax each of those years. I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking you the specific question. Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
Income taxes. Here we go.
Dollars in taxes, millions of dollars of income tax. And let me just tell you, there was a story in one of the papers. I paid $38 million
right?
1 year. I paid $27 million.
Show us your tax.
Then show us. Yeah, exactly, dude. What are you fucking hiding, man?
Finished. You'll see it. You know, if you want to go to the Board of Elections.
He's been saying that for 5 years. You'll see him. You'll see him.
Everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally under leveraged because the assets are extremely good. And we have a
dude, I hate this so much.
Sir, I'm asking you a specific question, which is...
Let me tell you.
I understand all of that. I understand all of that. No, Mr. President, I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Nope. Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
He's just straight up lying.
I know, dude. This is fucking so obvious. It's painful.
Let me just tell you something, that it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what
loopholes.
It is. The tax bill that gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We build a building and we get tax credits, like the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a massive, which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. Now, the man got fired right after that happened. But
Vice President Biden, you want to respond?
Yeah, I do want to respond. Look, the tax code that made him, put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher makes, on the money a school teacher makes, is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts and make sure that we invest in the people who, in fact, need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you do it over the last 25 years?
Because you weren't president. Because you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator.
You're the worst president America has ever had.
Seriously.
He's getting tired.
Oh, man. You worst president we've ever had.
We've done things that you never even thought of doing.
Oh, my God, dude.
That you gave me, including taking care of your vets.
Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you about your plans going forward.
Jiminy
because,
fucking
Mr.
Christmas.
Vice President, your economic plan, if you were to be elected
oh hell yeah,
focuses a lot on big
Contra,
big
baby.
taxes, big
I'm like basically punishing myself.
on the taxes. You
Mortify the goddamn flesh.
Seriously, yeah. Doing all these fucking crazy games.
Right. Because it's better than listening to goddamn Trump.
On corporations.
So, fun fact,
you heard the...
this is the first time I've ever played Contra Hardcore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I've never gotten very far in it whatsoever.
The analysis done by
Fun game though.
Oh really? Okay.
Have you heard the rumors about the Metal Gear Solid remake?
What? No.
It's it is definitely rumor.
Yeah.
But it would be like I would think it would basically be like Sony exclusive. But I don't even know where the rumors are coming from. But apparently there's a lot of traction on it, so I gotta figure that out. But yeah, honestly, if it was Konami doing it, I'd be a little like, can you handle this anymore? Like,
yeah, right. Like, no. You guys don't understand. It's Metal Gear Solid, the Pachinko machine, man.
Right? It's like I don't know. Konami is kind of poisonous at this point. I know they're still making some games, but wow, yeah, that's Contra for you.
I do suck.
I don't think the Konami code actually works in this game.
We need some tits in this game. Yeah, I don't know. Up, down, left, right. B, A? I guess there is a B and an A.
And you know what happened? You got it done. Our economy boomed like it's never boomed.
Oh my God, dude, that's quantifiably false. Our economy is not fucking booming.
Market approach, lower taxes, more deregulation.
Oh shit.
Lower taxes for American people.
When has deregulation of big business ever worked out for the working man? I'm serious. Like when? Name one time.
Point to it. Yeah.
Ever.
Created 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
They had the slowest recovery since economic recovery since 1929. It was the slowest recovery. Also, they took over something that was down here. All you had to do is turn on the lights and you pick up a lot.
He's just throwing fucking words out.
Recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, that means jobs. It also means 401ks. If you got in, if you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my tax, taxes,
jobs, 401ks, you like those things, right? Those are things you like.
Those are money.
Beer, football, 401ks.
And you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen.
An impression?
The worst recession short of a depression in American history. I was asked to bring it back. We were able to have an economic recovery that created the jobs you're talking about. We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
It wasn't booming.
He blew it.
It wasn't booming.
Yes, it fucking was, dude.
Sir, is it fair to, is it fair to say he blew it when, in fact, when there was record low unemployment before COVID?
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID, manufacturing went in the hole. Manufacturing went in a hole.
Yeah, dude, like those, like, unemployment doesn't happen overnight. Like, you have to create unemployment. Like, his system created unemployment. He was handed a booming economy, a booming job market.
They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing.
Like, that is not hard to track.
I'm the guy that brought back the automobile industry.
You're actually doing pretty good.
Yeah, I've only got one life, though.
The state of Ohio and Michigan. He blew it. They're gone. He blew it. And in fact, they're going.
Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan
The
had
best
the
year
best
of
year
what?
they've ever had.
That is not
Many
true.
car companies
And,
came
yeah,
in
for
from
who?
Germany,
Yeah,
Like-
right. Like what's he talking about? Like Campbell's Soup that fucking in Napoleon, Ohio that laid off like 100 people, or GM, which is laying off employees? Like I don't understand.
He talks about these great trade deals. You know, he talks about the art of the deal. China's perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China.
That should have been a good soundbite.
Yeah, right.
Trade deficit
China
with
ate
Mexico.
your lunch.
All right, gentlemen.
China
ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son
Dude,
goes
Joe
out and
Biden isn't
takes
the
out-
president.
He takes out
China
billions
ate
of
anyone's
dollars,
lunch.
Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of
Oh
dollars.
my God,
And
man.
Also,
Simply
while we're
not
at it,
true.
why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's
I'm on
wife
fire.
gave your son
Yeah,
$3.5 million. What
He's
did he
on
do to deserve
fire.
it? What did he do with Burisma
None
to
of that.
deserve $183,000?
None of
Asked
that
the
is
question,
true.
let him answer. If
Yeah, you
not-
know what? I'm going to stick with the homing laser.
But no, hey, Mr. President,
It's
Mr.
totally-
President, please.
Totally
ask the question.
Mr. President, please.
Totally discredited. And by the way,
Seriously.
Well, wait, he
That's
got
so upset right now,
$3
Mr.
million, Joe?
Mr. Vice
He got
Mr.
$3.5
President,
million.
that is not true.
Oh, really?
Okay, I've lost the ability to run and
it's
shoot
an
at the
open
same time.
discussion, please.
It's a fact.
Well,
There's no-
Something
raise
locked?
an issue, let the Vice
I must have.
discredited.
Did
There was a
Burisma pay him
report.
$183,000 a month with no experience?
Yeah, I
in
locked
energy?
myself somehow. I don't know how I did this.
My son did nothing wrong at
Hey, it's like, how do you do that on a Genesis controller?
Yeah, I know.
Start?
Like
He
I've
doesn't
pressed
want me to
all
answer
the
because
buttons.
He knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
Okay, so there's
By
something called
by
Shot
everybody.
2
Well,
next to
by
my
the
name.
media, by our
Because they refuse
allies,
to
by
talk
the
about
world.
it.
Oh, there we go.
by
Okay, you
e-
pause and then you can. All right.
by everyone
There
has
we go.
discredited. Matter of fact, even the people
President,
who
please stop.
testified.
Mr. President, please.
It's like
stop.
he has to babysit.
Mr. I'm listening to you.
Mr. President, please stop. Oh, God.
He testified under
That's
oath
going to
in
be the
his
soundbite, I
administration,
feel
said,
like.
"I
Mr.
did my
President,
job
please
and I did it
stop.
very well.
Oh,
I did
really?
it
I'd like to know who
honorably."
they
I
are.
don't know how. Please.
I think
stop.
you beat the first stage, dude.
You've already
Cool.
fired most of
As
them
far as
because
I'm
they
getting
did
on
a
this
good
game
job.
tonight.
Some people don't do a
Well,
good
here's
job.
the,
Oh,
You
shit.
wait a minute. You get the final word. Mr.
well, it's
Oh,
hard
man,
to get any
dude.
word in with this clown. Excuse me, this.
Hey,
this
let me
person.
just tell you.
This person.
Mr. President,
$3.5
Mr.
million,
President.
Joe.
That is simply.
Why
God,
did he
let him
deserve
talk.
$3.5 million from
Did-
Moscow.
Look, here's the deal. We want to talk about families and ethics. I don't want to do that. I mean, his family we could talk about all night. His family's
My
already.
family,
let him go.
my family
already
lost
wrote
a fortune by coming down and helping
Go
us
ahead.
with
Go ahead,
government.
sir.
And that's
Every-
such a.
and they're right
that's
here.
Mr.
That's such
President.
a great.
single
Are you
one of
kidding?
them
He's
lost
calling his
I mean, can you
nepotism
like cut
helping
his
out.
mic?
Your family.
I mean, seriously, are you just going to keep saying, chiding him? He's going to keep going.
Right?
What you need, you, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about.
you
here.
should
All right,
Not
that's the end of the segment. We're moving on.
He didn't take
We're moving on. Mr. President,
Can I be
please
honest?
stop.
It's a very important
Try to be
question.
honest.
He stood up.
No,
He stood up
the answer to
and
the
he
question is no.
threatened Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion.
Oh my God, dude. Is this real?
Not true.
Tape doing it.
You're going to
Not
have
tape.
True.
gentlemen.
Is-
I hate to raise my voice,
he's
but I
on
see it seems
tape.
to be. Why should I be different than the two of you? So here's the deal.
Good point.
We have 6 segments. We have ended that segment. We're going to go to the next segment. In that segment,
God
we are
damn,
going to
man.
have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr. President,
Like-
you can say anything you want. I'm going to ask a question about race, but if you want to answer about something else, go ahead.
Which you
I
will.
think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Wow, leave it. Like,
Wow,
am I
holy
hearing
shit.
fucking
That's all right,
reason
but he
from a
does
Fox News anchor?
Well, less than, sir, less than, less than you have. Let's please
Yeah,
continue
he's
on.
at least he's calling
The
him out
issue of
on it.
race.
It's just
Vice
like,
President Biden, you say that President Trump's response
Like, this dude's
to
career
the
might be
violence
over.
in
Like-
Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very
Should have
fine
let President
people on
Trump
both
say what he was going to
sides,
say.
was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, yeah, sure.
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for Black Americans than any president, with
That's
the possible
exception of Lincoln.
of
Some
Abraham Lincoln.
weird-
My question
some-
to the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone.
It's gone full helicopter. Touching his legs kills me. That's cool.
We've never accomplished it, but we've never walked away from it like he has done. It is true. The reason I got in the races with those people, close your eyes. Remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, spewing anti-Semitic bile.
He's going to latch onto that.
A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides.
Biden's got to find his footing. I think he's gotten shaken up a bit.
The problem is, like with Biden,
point I'd make,
the only one who's going to beat Biden is Biden.
Floyd was killed.
That's very true.
Floyd was killed. There was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible.
Upside down.
What happened after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is a man who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man,
the heck is that?
Is a savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African-American community.
So, President Trump, you have 2 minutes.
And it's not like I say this as an African-American, but like...
over your opponent to deal with racism.
He did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated.
And I'm letting the super predators out of jail.
Population community, you have treated the black community.
I have to look that up. I know Hillary said that. I don't remember Biden saying anything like that.
I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time because they saw what you did. You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that because you look back at your testimony over the years, you've called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals, total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland,
you know the hilarious thing? There's going to be fucking morons tomorrow like, yeah, why can't Joe Biden talk about law enforcement?
If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day, and they put up their hands, and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't.
You're the law and order president, you fucking criminal. I'm serious. Like, you have a fucking child rapist on your screen right now, and he's the law and order president, right? That's what I'm supposed to believe.
And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
All right. I want to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden, after the grand jury in the Breonna Taylor case decided not to charge any of the police with homicide, you said it raises the question, quote, whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes, there is. There's systemic injustice in this country, in education, and in law enforcement, and the way in which it's enforced. But look, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of us. But there are some bad apples. And when they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable.
I feel like that's the fucking issue here, is that they treat accountability like it's the end of the goddamn world.
Yeah.
Like if I'm held accountable for my atrocious behavior, then freedom as we know it is dead.
The way in which we have more transparency and when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor. Most don't like it. But we have to have a system where people are held accountable. And by the way, violence in response.
All right, what other punishing violent game can play on the Genesis?
Violence is never appropriate.
I don't know. I feel like that was like most of the Genesis games. There you go, Shinobi. Fucking ninja ourselves to death.
But you say it is.
President Trump, I'd like to continue with the issue of race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment. This month, your administration directed federal agencies.
Yeah, notice how he took the race thing and he made it about the fucking cops.
Yeah, that's true.
He was clearly trained to do that.
It's another divide kind of thing.
It's just racial sensitivity training. And do you believe that there is systemic
if the whole Blue Lives Matter?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody else.
What are you talking about? What radical revolution?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Dude, you stiff every contract worker you've ever employed.
And really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that.
God,
I'm not going to allow that.
I can't. This is like the kind of this is where like I zonk out and just like become enraged. They're teaching people to hate America.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, why do you hate America? Why won't you say that you don't hate America?
Yeah, that's the South Park bullshit, where it's just like it's real. You know, it's kind of like the Iraq War thing. It's like, oh, they hate freedom. You know, it's just like it's such an easy soundbite. Yeah.
Damn liberal Democrats.
Oh, they hate freedom. Well,
people feel like
who could hate freedom? Wow.
What insults them? What is demeaning to them? It's important.
Max, I've been meaning to ask you, why do you hate freedom so much? I mean, you voted for Barack Hussein Obama. Why do you hate freedom?
It's a gigantic difference in the way a child is able to grow up and have a sense of self-esteem.
Good Lord,
I'm a bad hombre. I'm a bad hombre, man.
And his friends.
You are a bad hombre.
They look down their nose on people like
Irish
Catholics like me.
But no, dude, remember, Trump loves Hispanics.
Who don't have money. They look down on people.
He ate that taco salad that one time.
They look down on people who are a different color.
I don't know. I remember, like, Gallup polls, all three debates, people thought Hillary Clinton won the debates.
Right.
And it doesn't, I mean, I think it does matter to a small section of people. And, like the truly undecideds, which I think is a small group. I think a lot of people who say they're undecided are probably, like, Trump voters who don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Or people who actually are not going to vote and they don't want to admit it. But there are truly some undecided people, and it's like that small section, the debates probably do matter. But for the most part, I think, yeah, a lot of people have their minds made up.
Well, and what's frustrating, too, is they started this whole thing with the state, or at least ABC was doing some, like, setting the scene, and Biden's up 7 points. That's, like, exactly like what Hillary was up in 2016. Like, that's...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't think that your average Democrat is going to, you know, take it for granted the way they did in 2016. Like, well, of course, Donald Trump is a cartoon character. He can't win. Like, clearly he can.
Yeah.
So I think there will be greater Democratic turnout this year, but I think by that same token, there'll probably be bigger, like, Trumpian turnout as well.
That's exactly my question. There has been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact there have been equivalent.
Yeah, I still don't quite understand where I mean, obviously it's not backed up by any data, but like when he says it's because of the Democratic mayors, like I'm not 100% sure like where like there's just these like fat cats in their plaid suits and they're twirling their mustaches, right? And there's like, yeah, this will undermine our great president Donald. I will kill all of the liberal black people. Like what?
Well, he's doing it right now where he's going to point to like the big cities and you know the crime happening.
It's a dog whistle.
Yeah, it is.
If he ever got to run this country and they ran it the way he would want to run it, our suburbs would be gone.
Yep, there it is. You called it, man. Our suburbs would be gone. The safe places for white people would all be gone. And you'd have to live next to you-know-who, right? But like seriously, right?
It isn't even new. He's not the first Republican president to do that, but he's not even subtle about it, like at all.
He doesn't know what subtle he is.
Black and white and Hispanic in the same car.
And this is the old playbook, is trying to get the vote out by fear, you know.
If they become president, you know, all those people who used to live in the inner city, you know the kind of people I'm talking about. They're going to come live next to you.
That's why the suburbs are in trouble.
I do want to talk about this issue of law and order, though, and in the joint recommendation that came from
this is as far as I've ever gotten in Shinobi, just a heads up.
Task force, you talked about, quote, reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support?
It means.
Let me, if I might finish the question. What does reimagining policing mean, and do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing?
Look, what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers. As a matter of fact,
that was a good thing to get out there.
The only one defunding, and his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up, it went down. And so we have to be engaged.
That's not what they're talking about, Chris. That's not what they're talking. He's talking about defunding the police.
You don't get to fucking decide that, though. You don't get to decide what someone else means when they say that shit.
Right.
Look,
holy Christ.
Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and
there he goes again. I got the police. They're all big Trump supporters. They've always been talking about what a great job I'm doing.
Law enforcement group that came out and supported.
Gentlemen, I think I'm going to take back the moderator's role, and I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is, as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you are the Democratic Party right now, have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you'd stop the days and months of violence in Portland?
I don't hold public office now. I am.
Yeah, under what authority would he say that? Exactly.
Yeah. I've made it clear in my public statement.
Yeah, it seems like kind of a gotcha thing.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
It should be prosecuted, and anyone who commits it.
But you've never called for the people.
This is reminding me of jump.
Yeah, it is.
Called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to
bring
the National Guard and knock off 100 days of riots.
They can, in fact, take care of it if he just stay out of the way. Look here.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Here's the thing.
Oh my God, dude, I hate him. I know.
Of the street, they shot him, and for 3 days,
President Trump
wouldn't do anything. I had to send in the U.S. Marshals. They took care of business.
Go ahead, sir.
And by the way, you know, his own former spokesperson said, you know, riots and chaos and violence help his cause.
Absolutely, they do.
I don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
I think Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said that.
She said that. And so here's the, but here's the point. The point is that that's what he is, keeps trying to rile everything up. he doesn't want to calm things down. Instead of going in and talking to people and saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do? He just pours gasoline in the fire constantly, and every single solitary time.
And to end this, button up this segment, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly criticized.
I have to answer his statement.
You have repeatedly. No.
Oh my God, man!
I'm asking.
This isn't a debate.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to switch seats.
We could very quickly.
We can do that, but
send in the National Guard, it would be over. There'd be no problem.
Okay.
But they don't want to accept the National Guard.
Is he proposing martial fucking law?
The Vice President for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say...
And as far as martial law, I think he's been talking about sending a National Guard to Chicago even before he was president, I think.
And as we've seen in Portland. Are you prepared
to keep those people out of the suburbs?
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you
shitting me right now?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him... What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a name.
White supremacists and
right. Like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what.
Notice how he won't do it.
Yeah.
Because this is not.
Yep. There we go.
Law enforcement.
There we go. And he won't do it. He's talking about Antifa.
White supremacists. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia. That's what his FBI. His FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
Holy Christ, man!
Moving on to the next.
Cut his mic. Why do they not?
Administration tells you the truth.
Jesus.
It's a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas.
Antifa is
Antifa. I love it. That was the biggest, like, you know, like white supremacists around the nation, like they're applauding him right now. You know, he held his ground. He wouldn't say shit about us. I'm serious. Like,
no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And he's been called out on this. Like, it's very easy to see. Oh shit!
I'm not sure what I was supposed to do there.
Both of your records, I'm going to ask each of you, why should voters elect you president over your opponent?
Dude.
In this segment, President Trump, you go first. 2 minutes.
Because there is
2 minutes. All right, I can stomach 4 more minutes of this shit.
Has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years, and that's despite
what
the
are you
impeachment
talking
hoax.
about?
And you saw what happened today.
God, he doesn't have to back it up. He just has to say it.
But like, what is he? What is it?
What is he even talking about?
Yeah.
Right?
No president has done more. What?
That's done what I've done. The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment.
I don't understand how I'm supposed to.
Everything was good. Everything was going. And by
well,
the way,
right.
You did it.
There was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling, and they were saying it's time, maybe. And then what happened? We got hit, but now we're building it back up again. A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things.
Space Force.
Oh yeah, Space Force, baby.
Under him.
That's not a joke.
War on Mars.
Because they didn't have proper health care. He was a mess. And we now got a 91%
approval
this
does not feel real.
At the VA, our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt
can
our
you imagine
military.
going back in time 10 years ago and like
by the end of the
showing like people who were like concerned about Barack Obama and John McCain, like this debate? Can you imagine showing people this shit?
Justices. That is a record. The likes of which very few
crazy how bad it's gotten.
Oh my god, dude. Well, and it's bad because of the orange maniac, like on the left. Like that's where it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
That's like
I'm not.
It's like, such a low bar.
Clearly, I'm a Democrat, like biased, but
because they have a little different
holy shit, man.
I'd say if you left.
Sorry, go on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's it's not even about left or right. It's just like, I'm not even talking about decorum. It's just like a basic humanity, you know, and
there's none of it.
Like, he's being so petty, and he's being very narcissistic, and just talking about how big his crowds are, and talking about, oh, I've done this the best, and you know, without even backing it up with anything. It's
under this president, we become weaker, sicker, poorer.
There we go.
And it's like he's not done interrupting. Like no matter how much they try to rein him in, he's just emboldened to keep doing it, you know, and be a bully.
I did.
Absolutely. I just kamikazed myself.
With regard to
being man.
The fact is that I've gone head-to-head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to eat.
That's right.
I like that.
Putin's puppy.
American soldiers.
And he's only saying puppy because he can't say pussy on a live television debate.
Mr. President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you
well, maybe they agreed to it. I never agreed to
as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word.
No, I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, yes, you may have.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more wealthy.
Weaker, sicker, and poorer. Like that needs to be all over the news for the next 2 months.
Since COVID, you in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before.
Careful, Joe.
In terms of
choose your words.
More violent. When we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and
call him out.
Nail him on that.
Yeah, this is the fucking place to do it. Make it happen.
He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star.
Fucking get him.
Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about.
I don't know Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military.
Oh my God, dude!
He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. It wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job.
So, like, you can just say whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He made a fortune in Ukraine, in China.
Yeah, what the fuck is he talking about?
And various other places. He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions?
All right. But he wasn't given tens of millions. That is totally
tens of millions of dollars from who? You moron!
Totally discredited.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial subjects. Well, you know, as the moderator, sir, I'm going to make a judgment call here.
$3.5 million from the
holy shit, man! Is it tens of millions or is it 3.5? Like he can't even get his lies straight.
It wasn't worth taxpayers' money. That report was written for political reasons.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Okay. The forest fires in the West are raging now. They have burned millions of acres. They have displaced hundreds of thousands of people. When state officials there blame the fires on climate change, Mr. President, you said, I don't think the science knows. Over your 4 years,
I don't think the science knows. That was I had a good belly laugh at that one.
I've heard that round table, right? Yeah, I remember that.
Records.
I don't think the science knows, frankly. I don't think these scientists who study this for a living really know as much as I do, because I have a great instinct for these things.
Yeah, what did he say? It's just like, it'll be okay. You'll see. Just watch. You'll see.
Yeah,
he always
just watch. It's like he's just hoping it'll blow over, because he has jack shit.
But I haven't destroyed.
That's all he ever fucking has is jack fucking shit.
Commission. If you look at the Paris Accord, it was a disaster from our standpoint. And people are actually very happy about what's going on because our business...
Oh, yeah. I hate that. That is... God damn, that's one of my least favorite things he does. Just these, like, vague generalities. Like, people are very happy with what they're seeing, with what's going on.
The polls could be the totally opposite direction, and he'll say people are happy with it.
What do you believe about the science of climate change, sir?
I believe that we have to do everything we can to have immaculate air, immaculate water, and do.
So let's deregulate big oil. Let's deregulate big oil. They'll give us cleaner air.
Believe that human pollution, greenhouse gas emissions contributes to the global warming of this planet?
I think a lot of things do, but I think to an extent, yes. But I also think we have to do better management of our forests. Every year,
Oh, so let's gut the National Park Service then. Let's talk about that, Trump.
Right.
That was clean.
No, you're right. That's what Biden should be nailing him on right now. It's
well, because he can't interrupt. It's double standard. Trump can interrupt all he wants. Biden interrupts, he'll get called for it.
They call forest cities. They maintain their forests.
God
they
damn.
manage their forests.
All right.
I was
So,
with the head of a major country.
This has been Sega Genesis Presents the Presidential Debate. Because if I listen to any more of this, I actually am going to have an aneurysm. So,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, let's do some cloud punk and
you can't every year have
America go out and in November, please. Like, if there's a decent bone in your body, I don't care if you don't think he's the best person for the job. Fucking vote for Joe Biden. I'm sorry.
It's one or the other.
This isn't a church pulpit. I'm not a public official. Vote for Joe Biden. I mean, my God. It's going to be one or the other. And like, if like what you see from Trump tonight doesn't fucking disturb you, then like maybe see a psychologist or something, because like clearly you have a different like hardwired moral compass than a lot of people. So
than decent people.
Yeah. Anyway, like this is like in a lot of years for politics, it's, you know, good idea, bad idea, good idea, bad idea. This, it's like Darth Vader versus Mahatma Gandhi. You know, like it's like absolute black and white. One guy is a civil servant. The other one is going to sell you out to Russia. Like, what's there to debate here? Get out there and fucking vote Biden. Max, we will see you in a little bit here.
See you in a bit.